Hi, this is Nadine from I Heart Gardening, and I'm in my plant room today. And I've been doing this plant room now, I think, for about 2 years, and have come to realize which plants I have the best success with and why. And the plants that I'm most successful with are the ones that are most suited to my environmental conditions. I live in a dry northern climate, so I've been having the best luck with plants that like it dry. Also, I am maybe not the most consistent waterer. I would say at most I'm watering once a week, and some plants dry out faster than that. So I wanted to bring you my top picks for plants that like it dry. And I'm going to give them to you in categories, and I'll do green plants that no problem like it dry. I'll do a yellow caution that some plants may do okay, or if they have a period of drying out, they may have leaves that turn brown but will bounce back. And then I'll do a red category, which is basically plants that I have killed very quickly or just given up on trying to grow them. So my first category is Sansevieria, and I've had very good luck with these, and because of that I keep buying more of them, so my collection of them is growing. They're easy to grow, not terribly picky about lighting conditions, and I like collecting them because you can find the different leaf patterns, and now I gotta collect them all. So I'll show you some of the varieties of Sansevieria that I have. Names of all the varieties, but I will tell you the ones that I do know. This one is Futura, Moon Glow, Night Owl, Bird's Nest, and Cylindrica. I do have a couple more downstairs. One of them I know is a Sayuri, which is my favorite. Here are the next plants in the green category. They are Zizi plants, and I say that because I don't know how to say their actual name. Zamioculcas zamiifolia. They're also very easy care plants, very similar to the Sansevieria. And I water them similarly to the Sansevieria in that I will water them every other week, whereas most of my other plants I will water weekly. The next category of plants that like it dry are succulents. They're thick, fleshy-leaved plants that have been fairly easy for me to care for. I think they do like more light. I do have these directly in front of a southeast-facing window. These ones I'm not actually keeping as houseplants, but rather I'm overwintering them to put outside in my summer planters. So these ones, I'm not even sure the names of them. The only one that I know for sure is this one, which is a jade plant, because this one is a recent purchase that I bought. I'm planning on using as a centerpiece for my succulent planter this year. Aloe is another succulent plant with thick, fleshy leaves. This one you really do have to be careful about overwatering, because if you do, the roots will rot and you could lose your plant. So the key to the success with this plant is really letting it dry out. And once I started doing that, that's actually when it really started growing. This is also a medicinal plant. You can use the juice from the leaves to apply directly to burns and cuts as a salve. Pothos have done very well for me. They totally don't mind drying out in between waterings. I currently have 3 varieties of pothos. This one is called Pearls and Jade, and they are all hanging plants, and if I could get my hands on more varieties of pothos, I would for sure, because they have been doing well for me. They have taken a little bit to get started growing, but when they do, they sure go. I've got some of my larger houseplants in the green category, because they've done well for me in my dry climate with very little browning on the leaves. On the left is a Ficus elastica, and on the right is a bird of paradise. And this is my last category that I have for you that like it dry. And I don't have a lot of comments on these ones because these plants are fairly new to me. But what I have been looking for when I'm plant shopping is looking on the tag where it says let plants water out between waterings, or let 1 inch top of soil dry out, or keep moderately dry. So in here I think this is a bromeliad of some kind. This one is as well, called a neoregalia. This one is Wandering Jew, and this one was labeled Wandering Jew, but I think it was mislabeled, and my plant ID app looks like it is a Merdania loriformis, or a bright star. So these will be the new plants to watch to see how they do. And now I'm getting to the plants that have been doing okay for me in my dry climate, as long as I keep on top of my watering. So these are Phalaenopsis orchids. And what I like about these is that you can actually tell whether or not they need watering based on their roots. And they come in clear pots so that you can see. I watered this one today, so the roots are bright green. If you were to lift that pot up and see dry roots, then you know it would be time for watering. These three are all varieties of Dracaena. As you can see, if they get underwatered, the leaf tips dry out. This Hawaiian sunshine bush has seen better days. The lemon lime is doing okay, and I'm not sure the variety name of this one, but they do okay, and they will recover. Ferns are not usually considered a plant that likes to be dry, but these are some varieties of ferns that might be worth a try if you really like ferns, which I do. So I have found that broadleaf ferns have offered me my best success, and these are the ones I've somehow managed not to kill. So I've got a bird's nest fern here. At one point in time did let it get dried out, so you can see the browning on the leaves there. I've got an elk horn fern here, a crocodile fern. This is a new to me. It's also labeled as a bird's nest fern, but with much skinnier leaves, and this is a new to me staghorn fern, which is interesting because it's got actually quite thick, almost, I'm going to say woolly, but like lamb's ear type leaves. My next plant is ivy. I've got a couple of different varieties with slightly different variegation in them. And the reason why I mention ivy, it does dry out quite easily and leaves will turn brown, but it also recovers quite quickly. So it can go through periods of looking kind of poopy, but you can bring it back. These are two planters that I grew outside in the summer, and I'm overwintering them. And I like ivy because I can take cuttings from them quite easily. And for my last category, those in the red zone that do not like it dry, the ones that you're looking at here, I'm hoping are going to be okay. Technically, I could probably put them in yellow because they're not dead yet. But I am keeping a close eye on these ones because I don't want to lose them. There's a mini monstera, a Scindaptus pictus, a Syngonium, and a neon philodendron. And I have a thing for philodendrons, but they do not survive for me. I'm hoping I can keep that neon philodendron alive. So I'm going to go through the list of plants that I've excuse me, killed because they've dried out. So this is like an in memoriam, rest in peace, crispy wave fern, silver sparkle pilea, Dieffenbachia, anthurium, gardenia, peace lily. Although I do have a domino peace lily that is doing just fine. Rattlesnake calathea, 2 other calatheas. I think I just need to stay away from the calathea category altogether. Well, I hope this was helpful for anyone who lives in a dry climate zone like me. Hopefully you can pick some plants that you'll have good luck with. Thanks again. We'll see you soon.